Hi, I've been trying to think this week about something kind of cool to say at the start of these videos, and I always struggle. I was initially thinking, hey rockers, because it's Riders of Charity, but that sounds really lame. And I was like, hey, welcome to Rock, which is even worse, or hey, I'm Rock, which makes me sound like I want to be Dwayne Johnson, so I'm just going to say hello. So this video is a little bit late this week, and that's because I've been struggling with a little something to do with the third day 4. Day 1 Leicester to Land's End, day 2 Land's End Minehead, day 3 Minehead Shrewsbury. Day 3 is what I'm struggling with. So before I talk about what I've actually now decided to do on day 3, I want to say that this whole thing is about inclusivity. I really want to see a mixture of scooters and motorbikes there, because it's really important to me that we cover the broad spectrum that is biking. I know there's a lot of snobbery in the group. Some don't like scooters, some don't like motorbikes. If you say you ride a 50cc or a 125, some people, treat you like you're a COVID infected denier. So it's it's a little bit tricky sometimes to get what I think is the very best thing about motorbiking as the forefront of the conversation, which is the fact that we all love to ride. Mental health is a key motivator for doing this trip, and the very thought of being excluded or shunned is just absolutely awful. So there are people doing this on scooters, and there are people doing this on big 1000cc bikes. For me, you're all welcome, because we're coming together for a common cause. And that's not just to raise money for charity, it's to raise awareness. And nothing raises awareness like a bunch of bikers together, because people look. And I'm hoping we're going to have Riders of Charity badges on there. I'm looking at getting car flags, which we can cable tie to the back of our bikes, so people will see what we're doing. They'll then research what we're doing, they'll look at what we're doing, they'll say, okay, they're raising money for Mind, they're raising money for Alzheimer's Society, what are these two charities doing? Maybe they can then help somebody they know who's got Alzheimer's, go, well look at this charity we found. The potential is huge. My mum was a mod, and then she later changed to being a rocker, so she loved her scooter, she loved her motorbikes. So this ride being about Alzheimer's and about Mind, I really want to make sure I represent that inclusivity. So we've got some incredible people on this ride. If you look at our website, you'll see we've got some massive cruiser motorbikes. We've got some racy looking models out there. We've also, that's the bikes, not the riders, the racing models, behave yourselves. But we've also got some incredible people like Matty Gordon and Mark Toon. Now Mark Toon is somebody you might possibly recognise the name of. Quite a while ago now, I think probably about a year, I should have again checked this. The problem is I do check all this stuff, and then I turn the camera on and I just forget everything that I was going to say and end up ad-libbing. Probably why my screenwriting career didn't take off very well, or my acting career for that matter. But anyway, the point is, Mark Toon is this awesome dude, and he was riding his motorbike with his visor up, and some absolute Donkey Kongs threw some eggs from a car window. And the result was that Mark got blinded in one eye. I honestly don't know whether I would have got back on a bike or not, so I've got huge amounts of respect for the dude for even getting back on a bike. But his story gets even better, okay, because he had to sell his bike to pay his bills, so he's now got a 50cc, I think it's a Gilletta scooter. And he's going to be doing the entire trip, that's the 12 days. He's going to be doing it with his friend Matty Gordon, who's an absolute diamond of a bloke as well, who's doing it on a Vespa. Now I think, if anything sums up what this is about, it's these two guys, okay? For me, every charity event I've done, I've made it to be difficult. When I did the MND run, I didn't just pour ice over my head. I did a 100-metre sprint and had 7 people throwing ice at me. Because it's meant to represent a struggle. You're meant to be highlighting that a life with mental health or a life with Alzheimer's or any disease is not easy. So why should charity events be easy? We're not just raising money here, we're raising awareness of charities. We're showing a challenge that we can overcome. That's what you have to do in your daily lives with mental health. You've got to constantly overcome. So the fact that Mark is doing this on a low-powered bike over 12 days, and we're looking at an average of 6 hours a day on the road, I think is admirable, and I've got so much respect for that dude. So he is welcome in this group, and it's people like that that we are riding for, really. that have gone through incredibly difficult, life-changing experiences, but are still pushing on, still riding, for God's sake. For me, he's a legend. We might have to make a few concessions on the ways. I don't think you can get a 50cc bike up Applecross Road, for instance, but we'll come to that when I get to planning further down the line. But I just wanted to highlight Mark here because I know mine has been a particularly important charity for him, and mental health especially has been a very important topic for him. So I just want to say what an absolute legend for looking to do the 12-day tour on a 50cc scooter. Absolute legend. So that alone just shows that yes, it's a motorbike ride, but it's more than a motorbike ride. It's about people coming together, as I said, for a common cause to raise awareness and raise some money. And above all of that awesomeness, also meeting people. Over the last, year of designing this or planning this, I've met some most incredible people through doing this. And that's another key thing for helping with mental health, is talking and sharing. So already, when we've not even left to start the journey yet, there are so many positives coming out of this. So, when it came to talking about the route on this day, I kind of had two plans for it, because I really want to do the Brecon Beacons. I think you can't go that far over and not do the Brecons. But the problem I've got is that with inclusivity, I want to welcome CBT and L-plate riders, again, because it's about coming together. So, we can't hit motorways. And the easiest way to get the Brecon Beacons is to take the bridge and go M4, I think it's M4, and over. If you go up and around Gloucester way, it adds an extra hour to the journey, which is just a long, long day. So that meant splitting the pack up, which goes against what I wanted to say about inclusivity. So, we're staying inclusive, but it's just going to be a long-ass day. On this particular day, now the sun is doing really awful things in the middle of a video. Challenge overcome. So on this day, what we're going to do is stay together, but at the same time don't get panicky. Just because there's a 50cc bike in the group doesn't mean you need to wait for them. This ride is your ride. I'm spending all the time getting the routes sorted out, getting everything organised, but if you want to do half a day's journey, do half a day's journey. Do the full journey, do the full journey. It's down to you. You might be doing it for just one day and want to take your sweet time about it, stop every 10 minutes and take photos, do that. You don't have to stick with the main pack at all. It's your ride. The focus is getting everyone together, because that's when it's going to be there. At the start and the end of the day, when all the bikes are together, you've got all those people there raising awareness, it's going to be huge. Okay, so that's that little bit over. So, day 3, departing Minehead at around 8 or 9 a.m. I'm still debating that at the moment. It all will be clarified shortly. We're going to hug the inlet of the Bristol Channel along the A39. We're then going to go onto the A38 and skip briefly through the Mendip Hills area of outstanding natural beauty. We are going to skirt around Bristol, because obviously the centre of Bristol will be way too chaotic to go into. And we're actually going to stop for our first break. Oh, Admondson. Again, why don't I have this to hand? There's a laptop right here. I'm pretty sure it's Admondson. Where is it? Oh, I've actually closed it so I can put the snooker on. No, I haven't. It is Almondsbury. Almondsbury. There anyway. It's a massive, massive garden centre with a really highly rated cafe, lots of parking. So 2.5 hour stint to there. We're then going to go from there to Merthyr Tydfil up and around Gloucester. Merthyr Tydfil will be our lunch stop. That's another 2 hours from Almondsbury. So that's about 4.5 hours on the road, not including if we need to stop and take photos and such. But really it's about getting to the Brecons, because that's going to be stunning, that ride over the top there. So we are going to be taking the A470 through basically the middle of the Brecons. Now I've done a fair bit of research and this looks really, really nice as a road, so I think really we're going to be looking at getting there as soon as we can, so that we've got lots of daylight. It's going to be the summer anyway, so hopefully we'll have sunlight till 7, 8 o'clock at night. See some really beautiful sights, some really fun twisty roads. and then emerge the other side of the Brecons and make our way up to Shrewsbury for our night stop. So that's it. Sorry this wasn't a polished one, there was no fancy cutaways and stuff, but you're just getting me in my raw state. Alright, take it easy, ride safe, see you soon.